Somebody asked me to upload the old videos about walking in the Spirit, and I don't have them. YouTube deleted them all. But the secret to walking in the Spirit is, if you read Romans 6, 7, and 8 50 times, you read Galatians 100 times, and you pray about it, and you ask God, and you enter into you can also read 1 John. He that says he has no sin deceives himself, the truth's not in him. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. But if we confess our sin, God is faithful and just to forgive us our sin and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. In other words, let God be true and every man a liar. If God says you're a sinner and you need to be saved, and you admit that, you're in truth. There's only one righteous, and that's Jesus. So how do you walk in the Spirit? First, you got to receive the Spirit. You got to get born again. And then second of all, you got to cry out to God and ask God to give you the power, give you the understanding. The churches, I hate to say it, but the churches don't talk about it. They don't teach it. It's like the primary doctrine. It's one of the primary things to figure out how to walk in the Spirit. And, God allows you to go through the struggle for a reason. Because when you're struggling over here to try to perfect the flesh, try to perfect the old Adam, you're wasting your time trying to be good enough, trying to rise up and do it in your own power. You can't do it. You cannot do it. It's impossible. You cannot walk in the Spirit, period. Only Christ in you can do it. So you have to die daily. You can't do it. It's impossible. But it's Christ in you. So I must decrease that he may increase, right? I must decrease that he may increase. You can't do it. You have the power in you, but it's not you doing it. It's Christ doing it. Anytime you say, I'm going to keep this rule, or I'm going to keep this law, or I'm going to keep this regulation, or I'm going to follow this to the letter, you always fail. But if you live moment by moment, and you say, Lord, help me by the grace of God, that's a different story. If you try to do anything in the energy of the flesh, anything, you just can't do it. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? So there's no power in the flesh. It's just weakness. This is probably why marriage is so hard, Marriage is hard because you got two people coming together in the natural, trying to function down here. Now, if both of them understand walking in the Spirit, you can get along probably pretty good. But still, you're in the natural. You're trying to get your needs met in another person in the natural, and it's like it's a struggle because that's not possible. Nobody's going to meet all your needs. Nobody's going to fulfill all the needs, And so you're in that struggle where one's saying, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you wash the dishes? Why did you say that? Let's go to the beach, but I got to work. Let's go. Well, we got to have vacation time. So you're trying to balance life. Two people trying to balance life. And they're fighting and arguing about stupid stuff. And you're like little kids fighting over stupid stuff. When you're single, you just go about your business. Do your thing. If the boss tells you to do something, you say, sir, yes, sir. You don't have to fight. You get paid to submit. You actually get paid to take up your cross. You get paid to walk in the Spirit. You get to a point where you realize that was the game the whole time. God was trying to get you saved first. And he already, whatever God says he's going to do, he's going to do it. So God calls you to get saved, and you go through the struggle. You get saved. You don't know you're lost, and you finally wake up and say, oh, I wasn't saved. And then, so you get saved. Then you go to join the church or whatever, and they're teaching, you better not miss a day at church. You better not miss a day at church, or you're not right with God. So you go through that process, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm saved, I'm free in Christ, and people are trying to put me back under law and legalism. I'm free in Jesus. I'm free as a bird, and everybody's trying to put me back under legalism. What's that about? Well, if a man don't work, he don't eat. So in the flesh, there's rules to follow. In the flesh, any kind of agreement. This is why I tell people not to go into the less agreements you go into, the better off you are. As soon as you join something or go into some kind of agreement, whether it's a marriage or a business or anything, as soon as you join something or go into some kind of agreement, it causes slavery and bondage and problems, because the flesh is nothing but sin. The flesh is nothing but sin. And so anything in the energy of the flesh is always going to be trouble. Any agreement in the flesh is going to be trouble. And so it's hard enough managing yourself down here. So when you start to throw other people in the mix, it's going to be a little bit of friction and stress and all that. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. The more you step back and look at it for what it really is, it's really ridiculous. So you go in agreement with somebody, they want you to keep your word, and you want them to keep their word, and then if you mess up, they get mad, and they don't even see their stuff. You might not see your junk, they can't see their junk. So in the natural, nothing but trouble, right? Man born of a woman's full of trouble as the sparks fly upward. And so when you understand that there's major issues with the 3D the natural mind, the natural realm, when you understand there's major issues in the natural, I haven't been over this park in a while. I'm not even going there. I wasn't going there today. I just wanted to see it. I ain't seen it. I want to see if they did any kind of improvements over here. I'm on the way somewhere else. But while I'm over here, let me have a look at it's kind of far out to ride my electric bike, but if I get a bike rack, it'll be a different story. But in the natural, there's problems. I didn't know they allow fishing over here. Look at that. People over here fishing. So somebody who's totally in the flesh, they're usually going to be drinking, drugging, cursing, yelling, fighting, screaming, mad, angry, trying to get their needs met, trying to get all their needs met in the natural, which it'll never happen, but they fight to make it happen. And then they become more mean and abusive, and the flesh just goes down and down and down and down. It gets worse and worse over time. So it's a good place over here to walk, you know. If I get me a bike rack, I could probably ride my bike over here, but it's pretty good ways. The energy of the flesh is weak. The power of the Spirit, that's where it's at. So what do you do? So how do you step into walking in the Spirit? How would you step into that? You got to die. You got to realize the self don't really exist, because in Jesus is everything. He holds it all together. All this is held together by Jesus. Even what you think you want to do, or you're going, you think it's you, but it's not. Christ, Jesus, is leading you. And when you die to your own will, die to your own understanding, die to your own ways, walk in truth, walk in love, agape love, love your neighbors yourself, when you really wake up to really, I mean, I could look at these, so there's a lot of tennis courts over here. I could watch these people playing tennis. I could watch these people playing football over here. And let's say somebody doesn't catch a football, or somebody misses it, they get mad. Oh, I messed up. Why are they getting mad? Why are they getting upset? Because they didn't catch the football. To me, that's just stupid. Why get frustrated if you don't meet up to some kind of human expectation? Some kind of rule or law or expectation, you know? Everybody's different, you know? Everybody's different. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't know if there's basketball courts or what. Looks like it might be, because that building's taller back there. So, you know, here, one of the reasons it's hard, because you're struggling to survive down here, right? You're struggling to survive. Part of the struggle is part of the process. So you're trying to do it in the energy of the flesh, and you finally just say, Lord, I can't do it. I've tried. And that's when he steps in. It's kind of like the person out in the water, in the pool, and they're drowning, and they're throwing their hands because they're drowning. You have to wait for them to give up and then grab them, you know, because if you grab them while they're struggling, they're going to knock you out, knock you down in the pool, you know. And so what I've learned over the years is that you have to meditate on it, pray about it, think about it. Let's say you need something. Let's say you need some tires. Or you need a job, or you need this, or you need food, or you need a roof done. You actually do the same thing with the same way that you pray for something or ask God to help you make it through something is the same way that you walk in the Spirit. Lord, I can't do it. I need your help. Lord, I can't overcome this addiction. Let's say you have an addiction. Lord, I can't overcome this addiction. I need your help. First of all, are you saved? Second of all, are you in the Word? Are you in Galatians? Are you in Romans? Do you understand Romans 6, 7, and 8? Do you understand Galatians? Even as you're reading those books, you're still struggling. And then finally you say, Lord, I don't know really what walking in the Spirit means. I don't really understand it. And then He finally reveals it to you. And it's like, oh, it's that easy? It's always kind of easy, you know. The spirit realm is easy because you just say, Lord, I can't do it. Please help me. Lord, I don't have the energy. Please help me. What happens is people around you try to push you to a level or put expectations on you or expect you to do this that they can't even reach. But they try to put you under. They can't do it, but they try to put you under law. In other words, you're a bad person because you didn't do this. And so that's what happens a lot of times in a marriage. And I'm speaking from the man's perspective. I'm sure a woman could say it from her perspective. But usually from a man's perspective, you see the woman, she gets frustrated. And she says, we got to do this. I want to do this. And you're like, I don't feel led to do that. I'm not led to do that. What are you talking about? Where did that come from? She's not going to want to submit to that. She wants what she wants, and she wants it now. And I'm sure as men we do the same thing. And so that's where the grace comes in, because that person is going through a spiritual transformation just like you are. And so that's where, like I say, every time you join a job or a church or a marriage or whatever, you're going to have trouble. And if a person's really, especially if you marry somebody, if you marry a Jezebel, you're in real trouble. Because Jezebel don't even care about walking in the Spirit. Those words would never come out of her mouth. She don't even know. She laughs at that. She thinks that's funny. That's something funny to her. That's going to be like a no-no to even talk about. What are you talking about? I want to do this, and we're going to do it. And if she's a real Jezebel, if she's a bad enough Jezebel, she'll say, I want it done now, and if you're not going to do it, I'm going to find a man that will do it. That's a Jezebel to the hilt. That is ridiculous. Trust me, Jezebel is not playing games. And the old flesh in the men and the women, the old flesh mind is the Jezebel. They're going to make it happen. Hell or high water, who they can control, manipulate, coerce, mind control. The Jezebel's a master manipulator. But you notice that Jezebel always destroys herself. She wants to be God. They really want to be God. I've seen it on jobs where, you got the Jezebel spirit as a boss, and they try to get you to do stuff outside the job because of their power. And you got the boundaries up, and eventually, sometimes you have to go to their boss to shut them down, because they use their position of power to try to get. That's this whole system, people. The whole system's a Jezebel spirit. It's the energy of the flesh. And whoever is more manipulative in the flesh down here gets ahead the most. And so that's why you see a lot of people who are rich or mean. Some mean people. Evil people. Pure evil. But the walking in the Spirit is taking up your cross, dying daily.